Oh, fuck, that's bright. Well, we should at least cover this fucking dirty table. It's the holidays, and when it's the holidays, you'll be dealing with family, and when you're dealing with family, you're gonna need nicotine. Now, these fuckers come in all different range of flavors and everything, and honestly, depending on the flavor, this is gonna sound really weird, depending on the flavor, honestly, it seems like how long these fuckers last. Depending on the disposable, they usually have a juice that matches the flavor, or the disposable based on the juice. As you can see, this bottle's almost fucking empty. Now, most of the time you'll buy these things, I think they're guaranteed like 100 or 1,000 or whatever the fuck hits, but most of the time they end up fucking dying way too quick. They are $7 a piece, which isn't fucking bad. Actually, I guess decently fucking cheap. Depending on the disposable and flavor too, it might not be able to be recharged. And what I mean by that is, the battery that's in here is sometimes adhesive, like adhesed into, like it's glued basically inside the disposable, meaning getting it out is going to be either breaking some wires, breaking a wire, or breaking the battery itself, or just straight up killing the disposable. And to charge these things, it's actually super simple. Depending on what you have, if you have an old Bluetooth speaker lying around, you can always smash that open, take the circuit board out, cut the battery off of it, and you'll have just 2 exposed wires. Now, if you don't have just like a Bluetooth speaker or something lying around that you could cut the battery out of and use to charge, you could also use a USB cable by cutting the end and using these wires. As you can see, this one doesn't have any wrap on it, which I don't remember why it was taken off, but at some point it was. But these disposables have, on the very end of them, 2 little openings right here. And as you can see, just for the hell of it, it is dead. Skipping ahead, I managed to kill this one, and in the process, overheat it. Don't know if I got it on video or not, because my camera did stop recording, but the battery itself did get super fucked for me pushing it in, and in the process I realized I'm kind of a dumbass, and I know I don't have to pull the battery out, but I did anyway. So you don't have to pull these batteries all the way out. So we're gonna go ahead and use this blueberry one just for the hell of it. I'll go ahead and hit it and show it's dead. As you can see, all these here are dead too. I've just literally been collecting them for the sake of this video. But I have my Bluetooth speaker plugged in. There is no indicator light for when it's plugged in. The speaker is from 5 and below. Literally bought it just for, once again, the sake of this video. What you want to do is go to the bottom of the disposable, and you should see 2 little holes, or in some cases it's just like a bigger hole. These are all very different when it comes to manufacturing for some reason. And just pop it open. Pry very lightly, so you don't do that. You don't want to be really careful not to damage the sensor at all. It's not too fragile, obviously, but if you do manage to scratch it, puncture it, you name it, I imagine once you fuck up the sensor, it won't hit anymore. We're going to go ahead and pull on it really lightly. Grab these wires, pull really lightly, and the battery should slide out. But like I said, depending on the vape, in this case, we'll pull one of these pink lemonades. We'll go ahead and pop this one open. In this case, this one was also a really easy open, but it's not going past that, which is really odd. But we can see the positive and negative connections on it, so that's literally as far as you really need it. But it is a bitch to work with, especially when you're working with small ass wires like these. We'll go ahead and close that one back up. Back onto this one, because this one is a lot easier to work with than that one, because the battery does freely move. We'll go ahead and get this tape off, and right there are the positive and negative connections, and believe it or not, this negative connection is broken, and the sensor is super hot, so I think I managed to somehow damage this one by just opening it up, which is really interesting, probably by pulling out the battery using the wires, because like I said, these are really fragile. So this blue one is technically dead, so we'll throw that one in the dead pile. And we'll go back onto this pink lemonade one, to show that even with the most difficult ones, it isn't a pain in the ass to really do. We'll go ahead and open this one back up. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the battery and see if I can work any more wiggle room out of it. That's as far as I'll really go, as long as I can get the tape off. As long as you can get the tape off, that's all you really need. Move this blue wire out of the way. And we have the positive and negative connections on it. Now, it's as simple as just matching colors. You don't want to do these backwards, or you will fry the battery and or, I imagine, fuck up that sensor, or whatever you're using to charge. Whatever you're using to charge it with, I should say. Now, since the negative's on this side, I'm going to flip the speaker over. This braided cable is... This braided charger is kind of a pain in the ass to actually work with. I'm going to go ahead and from the damaged unit we have here, I'm going to go ahead and take this tape. That should be good. We're going to go ahead and shove the negative cable on there and tape it down good so that connection does not move. Good. As you can see, the Bluetooth speaker's wire is connected and taped onto the negative connector on the battery. Now we're going to go ahead and see if I made a decent connection with the ground, I should say, and see if, yep, we are getting connection. Good. So if I just simply hold the positive down, you can see that it is charging. Now this is really finicky since, depending on what you're using, in my case, these really fragile, small wires are an absolute pain to work with. And as you can see, I'm not even touching the unit, and it is charging actually. But we are going to go ahead, for the sake of me not having to hold it, and tape this down. Now we'll go ahead and let this sit on the charger. As you can see, like I said, really finicky. Especially with the smaller the wire, the harder this is really going to be. I'm going to go ahead and keep my finger on it for the sake of time in this video, but you can obviously use more tape, more anything, and hold that down so you don't have to do this or get something heavy enough to put on it. But I'm going to go ahead and sit like this for 5 minutes, let this charge, and see how it hits. Alright, that should be good. That was about 5 minutes. Go ahead and get this off. That came off really easy. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this too, just for the hell of it. We'll go ahead and peel this tape back, the extra tape from the other vape. We'll go ahead and wrap this back up the way it was, if not at least close to it, and shove this back in. Now use a little poker tool. You really want to be gentle with this. Get it back in. We'll go ahead and shove that closed. Now I haven't really timed these, and I don't really know how long it takes to fully charge one. I don't even know how much 5 minutes really gives these. You go ahead and give this the first hit. I don't know if the cloud got on video, but that was not bad. For 5 minutes, that was one hit out of it. Oh fuck. And usually when these die, they go for about a good maybe another 100 hits before the coil is dry completely. The coil is located up here. There is a way to refill these. It is not the greatest, and it doesn't always work 100%, but if you'd like to see that, leave a comment below and I'd gladly make a video about that. Actually, just for the hell of it, I have an extra USB cable here. This one is kinda bent and fucked up, so it's not in the greatest shape. We'll go ahead and unravel this. We're gonna go ahead and cut it right here. We'll go ahead and try to separate this real quick. I'm digging into a wire. Now, I guess this cable I just cut happened to have a white wire, a green wire, and another wire of some sort, which I imagine is for... focus. Which I imagine these 3 wires are for data transfer and something else. This cable wasn't good at that anyway. But the only thing you need is the positive and negative. But what would you do with the charger in this case would be the exact same, except for all you'd have to do is plug this into a USB adapter, a laptop, a computer, something like that. And you do the exact same thing. You'd hook the negative to the negative, the positive to the positive. Do not switch these around. You'll short something out really easily and or make fire, which is also entertaining. But that is really it. That's all you really need to recharge one of these dispos. It is really not that hard to do. You can break it in the process, but if it's dead anyway, whatever. But if you do happen to have a lot of these lying around, don't just throw them out. Try giving them a good recharge. It's quick and simple. I mean, as long as you don't electrocute yourself, or in my case, almost blow the battery up. If you'd like to see a video on how to refill these, drop a comment below, leave a like, and I will gladly get to that.